The windows are sealed and the roof is tight. There isn't a cloud in the sky tonight. The weatherman says it's a clear blue view, but he doesn't live in a house without you. I'm sitting on the rug where the light used to be, but it's getting blurry, it's getting hard to see. The ceiling isn't leaking, the pipes aren't broken, but I'm drowning in the words that we never had spoken. I'm checking the corners for a silver gray leak, but it's only the salt running down my own cheek. The carpet is damp and the shadows are deep in a promise of forever that we couldn't keep. And it's raining a dry room, a storm in the hall, watching the memory of us start to fall. There's no thunder outside, just the beat of my heart, ripping the silence and the ceiling apart. I'm soaked to the bone in a place that's bone dry, under a roof and a tear-colored sky. It's a beautiful flood, a private kind of doom, just the rain in a dry room. I reached for a towel, but I let my hand drop, because there isn't a way to make this kind of storm stop. I'm tracing the watermarks on your old chair, wondering how nothing can be so hard to bear. The books on the shelf are starting to warp like the strings on a lonely and abandoned out harp. I should open the door, I should let in the sun, but I'm waiting for the clouds to be finally done. Yeah, it's rain in a dry room, a storm in the hall, watching the memory of us start to fall. There's no thunder outside, just the beat of my heart, ripping the silence and the ceiling apart. I'm soaked to the bone in a place that's bone dry, under a roof and a tear-colored sky. It's a beautiful flood, a private kind of doom, just the rain in a dry room, rain in a dry room. Let it wash out the maybes, let it carry the whys, let it drown out the echo of all of our lies. I'm not looking for a lifeboat, I'm not looking for a shore, I'm just learning how to breathe on a waterlogged floor. The sun is coming up, but I'm still dripping wet. The drought is over, but I'm not finished yet. Just the rain in a quiet place. Rain in a dry room. The calendar says it's the middle of July, but there's a blizzard blowing in the back of my eye. I'm shivering in a t-shirt on the kitchen floor, tracing the frost that's creeping under the door. You didn't raise your voice, no, you kept it real low. A quiet kind of ice, a bitter kind of snow. And now the houseplants are turning to gray in a house that was blooming just yesterday. I'm reaching for a blanket, I'm reaching for a spark, but you took all the matches and you left me in the dark. The thermometer's dropping, the windows are blurred by the freezing vibration of every last word. And it's the winter of your words tonight, turning my forever into brittle and white. Every I don't love you is a sheet of black ice, and I'm paying the goodbye at a landslide of price. I'm breathing out ghosts in the hollowed out air, staring at the frost on your favorite chair. It's a season of silence, a sub-zero bird living in the winter of your words. The winter of your words. I tried to light a candle, but the wick wouldn't catch. There's a layer of rhyme on the door and the latch. I remember when your voice was a fireplace glow, keeping out the world and the wind and the woe. Now the pipes are all frozen, the water won't run, and I'm blinded by the glare of a colorless sun. I'm scraping the maybes off the windshield of us, but the glass is just shattered in a pile of dust. Yeah, it's the winter of your words tonight, turning my forever into brittle and white. Every I don't love you is a sheet of black ice, and I'm paying the goodbye at a landslide of price. I'm breathing out ghosts in the hollowed out air, staring at the frost on your favorite chair. It's a season of silence, a sub-zero bird living in the winter of your words. Will it ever thaw? Will the April ever come? Or am I just destined to stay perfectly numb? I'm screaming at the snowdrifts, I'm pleading with the sky, but the North Pole of us is where we went to die. It's so cold in here. Mercury is falling, the fire is dead. I'm repeating the nevers that you already said. Just the frost, just the cold, the winter of your words. Put the kettle on just to hear the whistle scream. Anything to break the silence of this waking dream. I reached for the Earl Grey, the box was nearly spent, like the final few seconds of the time that we lent. I'm staring at the ceramic, the one with the gold rim, the one you used to hold while the morning was dim. Now I'm stirring in the sugar, watching circles go round, listening for a heartbeat, but I only hear the sound of the porcelain clicking. It's just 6 ounces of water and a leaf, but it's holding a lifetime of saltwater grief. The steam is a curtain, the kitchen is a shore, and I can't find my way to the light anymore. And I'm drowning in a teacup tonight, looking for a lighthouse or a glimmer of light. The surface is steady, but the current is deep, with the promises made and the secrets we keep. It's a storm in a saucer, a flood in a hand, a tiny disaster I don't understand. How can something so small feel as big as the sea? I'm drowning in a teacup of the memory of we. The honey is thick and it sinks to the floor, like the I love yous I don't get to say anymore. I'm watching the heat fade, the liquid turn cold, like the happily ever that's starting to mold. I remember your hands, how they'd wrap around the heat, back when the bitter didn't outweigh the sweet. Now I'm holding on tight to a handle that's thin, trying to keep all the not enough in. Yeah, I'm drowning in a teacup tonight, looking for a lighthouse or a glimmer of light. The surface is steady, but the current is deep, the promises made and the secrets we keep. It's a storm in a saucer, a flood in a hand, a tiny disaster I don't understand. How can something so small feel as big as the sea? I'm drowning in a teacup of the memory of we. It should be a swallow, it should be a sip, but I'm losing my footing, I'm losing my grip. I'm sinking in ceramic, I'm gasping for air in a kitchen that's empty because you aren't there. The water is rising, the tea is gone cold, the leaves are all dry. I'm still at the table under the sky. Just a cup, just a ghost, drowning in a teacup. The sun is dipping low behind the water tower, counting down the minutes of this neon hour. The clouds are bruised and bleeding, a heavy shade of plum, matching the vibration of a heart that's finally numb. I remember when the evening was a golden honey glow, back when we had 1,000 miles of road left to go. Now the horizon's tightening like a collar around my neck, and I'm standing in the wreckage of a high-speed emotional wreck. I'm looking for a star to make a wish upon a night, but the atmosphere is heavy and it's blocking out the light. It's a thick and smoky curtain, a ceiling made of lead, hanging over every single word I never said. And it's a sky the color of regret, a shade of I'm sorry that hasn't faded yet. It's a deep dark violet, a storm cloud gray, the ghost of the us that I threw all away. I'm reaching for the moon, but I'm catching the rain, in a landscape or maybe in a city of pain. It's the heaviest sunset I've ever met under the color of regret. The birds are flying south, they know when it's time to leave, while I'm still here in the driveway, tugging at my sleeve. I should've held the door, I should've changed the tone, but I was too busy building a kingdom on my own. Now the twilight's indigo, staining everything, from the empty porch swing to the ghost of your rain. The air is getting colder as the shadows start to tall, and I'm the only one left who's still answering the call. Yeah, it's a sky, the color of regret, a shade of I'm sorry that hasn't faded yet. It's a deep dark violet, a storm cloud gray, the ghost of the us that I threw all away. I'm reaching for the moon, but I'm catching the rain, in a landscape or maybe in a city of pain. It's the heaviest sunset I've ever met, under a sky, the color of regret. Give me back the morning that I spent with you, but the ink is running and the night is coming in, and I'm losing the battle with the what could have been. Stars are all hiding. Turning black, and there's no sun to bring me always back. Just the clouds, just the way, the sky, the color of regret. The color of regret. I've been a statue in the center of the hall, building up a winner, building up a wall. I kept my feelings under lock and under key, afraid of what the warmth might do to me. I was a fortress made of frost and jagged breath, keeping every I love you in a quiet kind of death. But now the radiator's humming and the air is getting sweet, and I'm watching all the rime melt away at my feet. The windows are clearing, the mist is all gone, I'm finally seeing the light of the dawn. I'm reaching for your hand to say what I should have said, but the space where you stood is a shadow instead. And I'm thawing out too late, standing at the handle of a locked-in, rusted gate. The ice is finally breaking, the pulse is finally back, but I'm looking at a shoreline that's already gone black. I've got the fire in my lungs, the house is already cold. I'm telling you the secrets that I should have already told. It's a beautiful spring, but I missed the date. I'm finally warm, but I'm thawing out too late. I remember the winter, the look in your eyes when you were pleading for a sun that refused to rise. You were shivering beside me, asking for a spark, while I was busy worshiping the cold and the dark. Now I've got 1,000 matches and a heart that's on fire, but you've already found a higher already dancing in someone else's rain. Yeah, I'm thawing out too late, standing at the handle of a locked and rusted gate. The ice is finally breaking, the pulse is finally back, but I'm looking at a shoreline that's already gone black. I've got the fire in my lungs, but the house is already cold. I'm telling you the secrets that I should have already told. It's a beautiful spring, but I missed the date. I'm finally warm, but I'm thawing now too late. I wanna freeze the clock, I wanna bring back the frost. I'd rather stay numb than know what I've lost. But the water's running fast and the river's wide, and I'm drowning in the feelings I used to hide. The sorry is dripping like a leak in the roof. The frost is gone, the winter's through, but I'm standing in a puddle of the memory of you. Too warm, too slow, thawing out too late. The air is electric, it's thick on my skin. I can feel the vibration of the what could have been. I'm pacing the porch while the clouds turn to black, waiting for a hurricane to bring the us back. I got a throat full of lightning and a chest full of lead, replaying the echoes of the things that you said. But the sky is a desert, the horizon is bone, and I'm standing in a pressure cooker all on my own. I'm looking for a teardrop, I'm looking for a flood to wash out the salt and the sting in my blood. But the atmosphere's locked and the windows are dry, and I'm screaming at a forever that refused to die. And it's just thunder without the rain, the loudest kind of silence, the heaviest pain. It's a rumbling in the floorboards, a shaking in the glass. But the storm never breaks and the clouds never pass. I'm a desert in a suit, I'm a fire in a cage, rattling the bars of a hollowed out rage. It's all of the noise and none of the gain, just the thunder, thunder without the rain. I remember the nights when we'd wash it all out with the downpour of sorry and a floodlight of doubt. But now it's just static, a dry heaving sky, too angry to stay and too hollow to cry. The garden is thirsty, the grass is all dead, mirroring the landscape that's inside my head. I'm waiting for the water to hit the pavement tonight, but the lightning is just a flash with no water inside. Yeah, it's just thunder without the rain, the loudest kind of silence, the heaviest pain. It's a rumbling in the floorboards, a shaking in the glass. But the storm never without the rain. Make it pour, make it break, give me one single drop for my own heart's sake. I'm tired of the tension, I'm tired of the hum of a storm that's promised but never has come. The air is just stretching, still dry, still loud. I'm still waiting under this cloud. No water, just the boom, thunder without the rain. Without the rain. Without the rain. We're sitting on the sofa, just a heartbeat apart. But I can't find the rhythm, I can't find your heart. The lamplight is dim and the shadows are long, and something about the silence feels wrong. I reached for your fingers, I reached for the heat, but the air in the middle is cold as the street. It's like a white curtain that's dropped in the room, turning our always into quieted gloom. I can see your silhouette, I can hear your breath, but it's a pale imitation of slow motion death. The distance isn't miles, it's not across the sea, it's the 3 inches of nothing between you and me. And it's the fog between our hands tonight, hiding the touch and the ghost of the light. I'm reaching through the mist, I'm searching for the skin, but I don't know where you end and it never begins. It's a cold gray hollow, a soft-spoken wall. The hardest kind of distance is no distance at all, just a blur of a maybe, a ghost of a plan. And the fog between our hands. I remember when our palms were a fire, a spark, a map we could follow through the deep and the dark. Now they're just magnets with the poles turned around, pushing us back without making a sound. Your skin feels like marble, your pulse is a blur, like a memory of the person you were. I'm waving my fingers through the damp heavy air, but I'm touching a person who isn't quite there. Yeah, it's the fog between our hands tonight, hiding the touch and the ghost of a light. I'm reaching through the mist, I'm searching for the skin, but I don't know where you end and it never begins. It's a cold gray hollow, a soft-spoken wall. The hardest kind of distance is no distance at all, just a blur of a maybe, a ghost of a plan. In the fog between our hands. Blow it away, let me see you again. Let me find the underneath the wind, but the moisture is thick and the vision is gone, and I'm losing your touch before the break of the dawn. I can't find your pulse. Still sitting here, still drifting. The clouds in the kitchen aren't lifting. My hand is out, but yours is a ghost. The fog. Just the fog. Just the fog. I used to be a river, running clear and running deep, with a million quiet promises I intended to keep. You were the rain that started it, the cool and steady flow, back when the world was simple and the always was a go. Then you turned the current, you changed the very air, and brought a different kind of tide from out of nowhere. Now I'm tasting something sharp, I'm tasting something white, staining everything I loved in the middle of the night. It only takes a single drop to ruin the whole stream, to turn a peaceful lullaby into a jagged dream. I'm looking at the surface, I'm looking at the glass, but the clarity is dying as the hours start to pass. And it's salt in the fresh water tonight, killing the garden and blocking the light. I'm a mountain lake that's turned into a sea of the never again. And what's left of me, I'm thirsty for the us, but the liquid is stilled by the bitter white sting of the blood we have spilled. It's a slow motion poison, a beautiful slaughter, just the salt, salt in the fresh water. The fish are swimming circles, they don't know where to go. The lilies are all wilting in a row by row. I tried to dilute it, I tried to wash it out with a flood of I'm sorry and a river of doubt. But you can't unpour the ocean once it's hit the sand. You can't take back the goodbye that's burning in my hand. Every sip is a reminder of the sweetness that we lost, a tally of the damage and a ledger of the cost. Yeah, it's salt in the fresh water tonight, killing the garden and blocking the light. I'm a mountain lake that's turned into a sea of the never again. And what's left of me, I'm thirsty for the us, but the liquid is stilled by the bitter white sting of the blood we have spilled. It's a slow motion poison, a beautiful slaughter, just the salt, salt in the fresh water. I wanna run back to the source, I wanna find the spring before the you and the me became a broken thing. But the tide is coming in and the banks are overflowed, and I'm drowning in the bitterness of the seeds that you sowed. It's in my throat. I can't drink this anymore, the well is dry. The river's turned to vinegar under this sky. Just the salt, just the stain, salt in the fresh water. barometer dropped in the middle of the night. I felt the pressure change before the morning light. You didn't come with sirens, you didn't come with rain, just a sudden shift in wind that carried all the pain. I was boarding up the windows, I was trying to hold the roof while you were gathering the reasons and the hard to swallow proof. Then the hinges started screaming and the glass began to fly, and I realized I was standing in the center of a lie. They say the eye is peaceful, they say the eye is still, but it's just a terrifying moment before the final kill. I'm bracing for the impact, I'm reaching for your hand, but there's nothing left but splinters in a salt-soaked land. I'm standing in the wreckage of a hurricane named goodbye, watching every always get scattered in the sky. It leveled every memory, it tore up every floor, and I can't find the person who lived here anymore. It's a category 5 of the things we didn't say, washing all the happily and never all away. It's a beautiful disaster, a storm I can't outrun, a hurricane named goodbye, and the damage has been done. I'm looking for the photos, I'm digging through the mud to find a single heartbeat or a pulse inside the flood. But the garden is a graveyard and the fence is just a ghost of the boundary we built to keep what we love the most. You're 100 miles inland, you're safe and you are dry, while I'm treading water underneath the dark and heavy sky. Every I'm sorry is a debris cloud in the air, and I'm losing my perspective because you aren't there. Yeah, I'm standing in the wreckage of a hurricane named goodbye, watching every always get scattered in the sky. Leveled every memory, it tore up every floor, and I can't find the person who lived here. And the damage has been done. Build it back, someone tell me how to start. How do you fix the foundation of a shattered, soaking heart? The sky is turning blue again, the sun is coming out, but I'm drowning in the silence and the wreckage and the doubt. The storm is gone, but so are you. The debris, just the sky, a hurricane named goodbye. The asphalt is bubbling out on Main Street. The neighbors are hiding from the midday heat. The oscillating fan is cutting through the air. I'm wrapped in a cardigan, slumped in my chair. I watch the thermometer hit 99, but there's a layer of frost on this heart of mine. The sunlight is pouring through the kitchen pane, but it feels like a needle, it feels like the rain. I should be sweating, I should be bright, but I'm losing the battle with a phantom cold night. The grass is all yellow, the garden is dry, and I'm watching my always just wither and die. And I'm shivering in the July heat, walking on ice on a sun-drenched street. The world is a fever, a gold-colored glow, but I'm trapped in a blizzard of where did you go? My skin is like marble, my breath is a ghost, frozen in the part that I'm missing the most. It's a sub-zero summer, a bitter defeat, just me and the shivers in the July heat. In the July heat. I remember the beach, the salt on your skin, back when the never hadn't set in. We were a fire, a burning, a spark. Now I'm just a shadow lost in the dark. I try to go outside, I try to feel the burn, but the North Pole of us is at every turn. The kids in the sprinkler are laughing out loud while I'm shivering under a singular cloud. Yeah, I'm shivering in the July heat, walking on ice on a sun-drenched street. The world is a fever, a gold-colored glow, but I'm trapped in a blizzard. Where did you go? My skin is like marble, my breath is a ghost, frozen in the part that I'm missing the most. It's a sub-zero summer, a bitter defeat, just me and the shivers in the July heat. Turn up the thermostat, open the door. I can't feel my fingers, I can't feel the floor. How can a goodbye be so goddamn cold that it freezes the stories we haven't even told? I'm turning blue in the middle of a new. Still shaking, still numb, waiting for the August that'll never come. The sun is so loud, but I'm so cold. July heat, just the July heat. Just the July heat. It starts with a pressure in the back of the throat. Something is different in a handwritten note. The barometer's dropping, the birds have all fled, leaving the silence to settle instead. It's a shift in the oxygen, a chill in the bone, the terrifying signs of being alone. I watched the horizon turn a bruised kind of lead, while I counted the always that we already said. Phase one is the warning, the static, the hum, the hollow vibration of what is to come. The wind starts to whistle, or maybe you know, as the temperature falls and the shadows all grow. And this is the anatomy of a storm, where the forever we build can no longer stay warm. It's a heart-shaped, low-pressure, tear-colored sky, ripping the roof off of every goodbye. First comes the thunder, then comes the flood, and the saltwater sting two is the impact, the glass in the hall, the sound of our pictures hitting the wall. The why did you do it and the where did I go? Is the search, it's the shoreline of all that I know. I'm mapping the wreckage, I'm gauging the force of a love that has finally run out of its course. There's a hole in the ceiling where the stars used to be, and a mountain of debris between you and me. Yeah, this is the anatomy of a storm, where the forever we build can no longer stay warm. It's a heart-shaped low pressure, a tear-colored sky, ripping the roof off of every goodbye. First comes the thunder, then comes the flood, and the salt water stinging the heat of my blood. It's a physical wreck, the structural harm, the cold calculated anatomy of a storm. Break it down, let me see the design. Where did the hours cross the no longer mine? Is it the friction, is it the heat, or just the mechanics of total defeat? Phase 3 is the after. The eye is passing, the damage is done. I'm looking for shelter, but there isn't any sun. Just the blueprints, just the rain, the anatomy of my pain. The curtain rose on a Tuesday night. We were center stage in the golden light. The script was thick, the ink was new. 1,000 pages of me and you. I memorized every beautiful line about how you always would tangle with mine. But the orchestra stopped on a dissonant chord before we could even unsheath the sword. The set is still standing, the paint is still wet, but the leading man lady hasn't showed up yet. I'm standing in costume, I'm waiting for the cue, but the balcony's empty and so are you. And I'm frozen in the first act tonight, under a cold and a flickering light. The plot hasn't twisted, the hero hasn't fell, but I'm already living in this half-finished hell. We never got to the part where we fly, we just skipped the hello and hit the goodbye. It's a beautiful opening, a bittersweet fact that I'm stuck in the middle of the very first act. Of the very first act. I'm holding the flowers that were meant for the bow, but the seats are all vacant and silent. And now we were supposed to have summers, we were supposed to have gray, instead of a blackout in the middle of May. I'm checking the wings, I'm checking the door, but the ghost most of the us doesn't live here anymore. The program is lying on the velvet red floor, a coming soon sign on a locked up door. Yeah, I'm frozen in the first act tonight, under a cold and a flickering light. The plot hasn't twisted, the hero hasn't fell, but I'm already living in this half-finished hell. We never got to the part where we fly, we just skipped the hello and hit the goodbye. It's a beautiful opening, a bittersweet fact that I'm stuck in the middle of the very first act. Write me a sequel, give me a scene where I don't have to wonder where the forever has been. I'm tired of the prologue, I'm tired of the start, when the climax is just the sound of a breaking heart. The lights are going down. Exit stage left, the theater is cold. The greatest story that'll never be told. Just the introduction, just the ghost, frozen in the first act. The barometer is crashing in the center of my chest. I'm struggling to find a single moment of rest. The air in the hallway is getting too thin as the walls start to buckle and the ceiling caves in. I'm checking the forecast on the back of my hand, tracing the lines of a storm beating land. You were the sunlight, the high pressure glow, but you took all the oxygen when you decided to go. The mercury's falling, the clouds are all black, and there's no silver lining to bring the us back. I'm gasping for air in a room full of lead, living in the echo of the things that you said. And it's a low pressure heart tonight, sinking and heavy and losing the light. Is a gravitational pull toward the floor, searching for a version of me from before. The atmosphere's crushing, the spirit is bowed under the weight of a singular cloud. I'm a weather-worn wreck, a structural part of the slow motion collapse of a low-pressure heart. I try to stand up, I try to be tall, but the gravity's winning, I'm starting to small. Every I love you is a stone in my coat, dragging me down where the memories float. The neighbors are out in the bright afternoon, while I'm trapped in a winter that started in June. It's a localized disaster, a personal gale, and I'm a ship in the harbor with a tattered up sail. Yeah, it's a low pressure heart tonight, sinking and heavy and losing the light. It's a gravitational pull toward the floor, searching for a version of me from before. The atmosphere's crushing, the spirit is bowed under the weight of a singular cloud. I'm a weather-worn wreck, a structural part of the slow motion collapse of a low-pressure heart. Break the vacuum, let the wind out. I'm tired of the pressure, I'm tired of the doubt. How can a goodbye weigh 1,000 some The glass is shattering. Still falling, still deep. A promise of always that I couldn't keep. Just the weight, just the dark, low pressure, low pressure heart. Low pressure heart. The sand is still damp where we used to lie, under a bruised and a violet sky. I'm tracing the footprints that lead to the blue, looking for any remaining of you. But the water is greedy, the water is deep. It's a liquid collection of secrets we keep. I watch the horizon, I watch the line where your forever stop tangling with mine. It didn't happen fast, it wasn't a crash, it wasn't a fire that turned into ash. It was a slow motion pulling, a rhythmic retreat of the saltwater foam at the soles of our feet. And it's the tide that took you away, leaving me here in the shoreline of gray. I'm reaching for white caps, I'm catching the spray of a love that decided it couldn't just stay. The moon is a witness, a silver-eyed thief, turning my anchor to a bundle of grief. I'm a lighthouse with no one to guide or to save, just a ghost on the beach of the tide that took you away. I found a sea glass heart in the palm of my hand, a jagged reminder left on the sand. It's smoothed by the friction, it's worn by the years, a crystalline version of all of my tears. The seagulls are screaming and never-ending noise. The currents are teaching you how to let go. I'm waist deep and maybe I'm neck deep in why, watching your silhouette blend with the sky as the tide that took you away, leaving me here in the shoreline of gray. I'm reaching for white caps, I'm catching the spray of a love that decided it couldn't just stay. The moon is a witness, a silver-eyed thief, turning my anchor to a bundle of grief. I'm a lighthouse with no one to guide or to say, just a ghost on the beach of the tide that took you away. Come back to the harbor, come back to the shore. I can't hear your heartbeat Salt in my eyes, the sands in my bed. I'm repeating the darlings that you never said. Just the waves, just the blue, the tide that took you away. The tide that took you away. The morning came without a drop of gold, just a heavy curtain, a story that's getting old. I'm looking out the window at the silver gray street, where the sidewalk and the puddles are starting to meet. The clouds are thick, there are wool blanket skies, stifling the hello and the never say die. Everything's muted, the saturation is gone, in a world that forgot how to put a bright color on. I'm reaching for a crayon, I'm reaching for a spark, trying to scribble some light in the dark. But the pencil is broken, the paper is wet, and I'm living in a landscape I haven't left yet. And it's gray skies and your blue eyes tonight, the only thing left that's still holding the light. I'm staring at a photo where the ocean met the shore, and the sapphire in your gaze doesn't live here anymore. It's a neon reminder in a black and white town of the way that you loved me before we went down. I'm a storm cloud heart with a sapphire prize, just the gray skies and your blue eyes, and your blue eyes. I remember the summer, the turquoise and the teal, back when the always was something we could feel. Now the garden is charcoal, the roses are slate, and I'm standing in a graveyard of arriving too late. I try to find a rainbow, I try to find a hue, but the only thing vivid is the memory of you. A flash of electric, a spark in the rain, a beautiful turquoise in a world full of pain. Yeah, it's gray skies and your blue eyes tonight, the only thing left that's still holding the light. I'm staring at a photo where the ocean met the shore, and the sapphire in your gaze doesn't live here anymore. It's a neon reminder in a black and white town of the way that you loved me before we went down. I'm a storm cloud heart with a sapphire prize, just the gray skies and your blue eyes. Wash out the lead, give me back the cerulean. I'm tired of the gray, I'm tired of the never again. How can a goodbye turn the whole world to ash while your eyes are still burning like a lightning bolt flash? The color is bleeding. The clouds aren't breaking, sky is still low, but I'm holding on to the blue that I already know. Just the gray, just the blue. wasn't a landslide, it wasn't a crash, it wasn't a lightning bolt turning us to ash. It was just the rain falling year after year, smoothing the edges of the I'm glad you're here. I noticed a hairline fracture in May, but I looked at the sun and I turned my head away. Now the canyon is wide and the river is deep, between the I love you and the secrets I keep. The limestone is shifting, the dirt's giving way under the weight of the things we didn't say. I'm reaching for a hand, I'm reaching for a stone, but the ground is just liquid and I'm all alone. And it's the erosion of a promise tonight, watching the shoreline disappear from our sight. One grain at a time, one sorry too late. We're losing the garden and the locked iron gate. It's a slow motion hollow, a quieted thief, turning our always into a mountain of grief. The foundation is gone, there's nothing to save, just the erosion of the promise we gave. I remember the mountain, the solid and high, back when we thought we could tackle the sky. Now I'm standing on silt, I'm standing on sand, watching our castle dissolve in my hand. The wind is a sandpaper, the silence is a tide, scraping the forever we carried inside. I'm looking for a landmark, I'm looking for a sign, but the hours has been weathered into yours and mine. Yeah, it's the erosion of a promise tonight, watching the shoreline disappear from our sight. One grain at a time, one sorry too late. We're losing the garden and the locked iron gate. It's a slow motion hollow, a quieted thief, turning our always into a mountain of grief. The foundation is gone, there's nothing to save, just the erosion of the promise we gave. Stop the water, shore up the banks. I'm down on my knees, giving God the thanks for a single solid piece of the life that we built. But I'm drowning in the mud and the salt and the guilt. The cliff is falling. The map is all wrong, the landmark is gone. I'm treading the water at the break of the dawn. Just the silt, just the rain, the erosion of our pain. Hung it on the porch back in late July, when the air was heavy and the sun was high. You said you loved the way the silver would ring like a tiny metallic and beautiful thing. Now I'm sitting on the steps with a glass in my hand, in a silence I still don't quite understand. The porch swing is still, the garden is dead, and I'm repeating the darlings that we already said. The air is like lead, it's a breathless night, hiding away from the porch light. I'm waiting for a shiver, I'm waiting for a sign, but the metal is quiet on this heart of mine. And it's the wind chimes' lonely song tonight, tangled in the shadows and the ghost of the light, waiting for a breeze that'll never come through to carry a whisper, or maybe from you. It's a hollowed out melody, a silver gray ache, a fragile vibration I didn't wanna make. Just a cold piece of metal on a rusted out thong, singing the wind chimes. The wind chimes a lonely song. The storms, the wild and the loud, and we'd hide from the world in the heavy gray cloud. The chimes would go crazy, a chaotic dance, back when we didn't leave a single thing to chance. Now they're just hanging there, frozen and straight, like a closed sign hanging on a locked iron gate. If I reach out my finger, if I give them a tap, I'm just triggering a memory, a beautiful trap. Yeah, it's the wind chimes' lonely song tonight, tangled in the shadows and the ghost of the light, waiting for a breeze that'll never come through to carry a whisper, or maybe from you. It's a hollowed out melody, a silver gray ache, a fragile vibration I didn't wanna make. Just a cold piece of metal on a rusted out thong, singing the wind chimes. The wind chimes' lonely song. Blow, damn you, move for a second, give me the signal that my soul is beckoning. I'm tired of the stillness, I'm tired of the gone. I'm a note that was played but never moved on. Everything is so quiet, still hanging there, still waiting. The air isn't moving, the sun is just fading, a single clink in the dark. The wind chimes only song. Song. The gas station coffee is bitter and black, and I'm white knuckling the wheel, never looking back. The lines on the pavement are a blur of whiting, writing a story I'm too tired to think. I've got a suitcase of what ifs in the passenger seat, and a map of the city where we suffered defeat. The radio's static, the signal is weak, just like the always that we didn't quite speak. The sun is hitting the hood with a merciless glare, promising a new day that isn't quite there. But I can feel the shadow, I can feel the chill, the ghost in the engine and the ghost on the hill. And it's just clouds in the rearview mirror tonight. A gathering storm in the fading out light. I'm outrunning the thunder, I'm outrunning the rain, but I'm carrying the lightning and the weight of the pain. It's a charcoal horizon, a silver gray wall, watching the kingdom of us start to fall. I'm 80 miles out, but I'm still in the clear of the clouds. The clouds in the rearview mirror. I remember the house, the garden, the gate before the I love you turned into too late. In the mirror, the roof is a tiny red dot, a monument built on a forget-me-not. The further I go, the bigger they grow, the dark purple memories of where did you go. I'm chasing the sunset, I'm chasing the blue, but the sky and the glass is still screaming for you. Yeah, it's just clouds in the rearview mirror tonight. A gathering storm in the fading out light. I'm outrunning the thunder, I'm outrunning the rain, but I'm carrying the lightning and the weight of the pain. It's a charcoal horizon, a silver gray wall, watching the kingdom of us start to fall. I'm 80 miles out, but I'm still in the clear of the clouds. The clouds in the rearview mirror. Don't catch up, don't break the seal. I'm trying to forget how a forever should feel. I'm flooring the pedal, I'm breaking the speed of a heart that's still looking for everything it needs. But the storm is gaining on me. Still driving, still dark. The mirror is full of the missing you spark. Just the clouds, just the gray in the mirror. The clouds. The well is running dry and the river is bone. I spend every why on this house of my own. I've looked at the photos until they turned gray, and scrubbed every maybe and always away. My eyes are like deserts, they're stinging in red from the ghost of the life that we already led. But there's one tiny spark, a silver gray bead, holding the weight of everything I still need. It's hanging on the edge, it's a heavy salt drop, waiting for the spinning of the world to just stop. The final remains of a 3-year-long flood, the last bit of you in the heat of my blood. And it's the very last tear in the world tonight, tumbled and lonely in the flickering light. It's carrying the darling, the never the stay, before it finally washes the forever away. It's the end of the ocean, the end of the rain, a microscopic funeral for all of my pain. When it hits the floor, it's the end of the girl, man. the storms, the wild and the deep. When I'd cry through the night while the city would sleep. But you can't mourn a person for 1,000 some years without running out of the logic and tears. So I'm holding my breath, I'm staying real still. I don't wanna lose it, but I know that I will. It's the only thing left that still tastes like your skin, the point where the after is about to begin. Yeah, it's the very last tear in the world tonight, tangled and lonely in the flickering light. It's carrying the darling, the never to stay, before it finally washes the forever away. It's the end of the ocean, the end of the rain, a microscopic funeral for all of my pain. When it hits the floor, it's the end of the girl, man, us, just the very last tear in the world. Don't fall, just stay, let me hold you a minute. There's a whole life of us that's still living within it. If I let you go, then the drought is for real, and I'll never remember how it forever should feel. But it's moving, it's sliding. There it goes, the salt is all gone. I'm finally empty at the break of the dawn. No more water, no more wine, just a desert and a dry, quiet sky. The very last one. The very last one. I was clearing the top shelf, the one by the vent, looking for space for the time that we spent. And there in the corner, a bundle of gray, a heavy knit ghost from a November day. I pulled it out slowly, I held it so tight, and suddenly I wasn't in this room tonight. I was back in the driveway, the sky turning lead, before all the nevers had ever been said. It's just wool and some cotton, a fabric of blue, but it's holding a chemical version of you. The storm hasn't ended, the clouds haven't cleared. It's all of the always that I've ever feared. And it's the scent of the rain on your sweater, the lie that tomorrow will surely be better. It's a mix of the pine and the damp earthy floor, and the I love yous you don't say anymore. I'm burying my face in the sleeves and the thread, living in the laundry of the life that we led. It's a beautiful haunting, a velvet lined chain, just the scent of your sweater in the rain. The scent of your sweater in the rain. I remember that Sunday, the walk through the park, how we raced to the porch just before it got dark. You laughed when you soaked me, you gave me this coat and tucked a small forever inside of my throat. Now the fibers are dry, but the memory is wet with 1,000 I'm sorries I haven't said yet. I should put it in the wash, I should scrub out the trays, but I'm scared I'll forget the smell of your face. Yeah, it's the scent of the rain on your sweater, the lie that tomorrow will surely be better. It's a mix of the pine and the damp earthy floor, and the I love yous you don't say anymore. I'm burying my face thread, living in the laundry of the life that we led. It's a beautiful haunting, a velvet-lined chain. Just the scent of your sweater in the rain. The scent of your sweater in the rain. How can a perfume outlast a goodbye? How can a fabric refuse to just die? I'm inhaling the maybe, I'm choking on us, while the rest of the world is just turning to dust. It still smells like that Tuesday. I'm putting it back in the dark, in the fall, to keep out the winter and keep out the cold. Just the wood, just the sky, the scent of rain.